हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna devotees, Dada Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. So today you have to tolerate me. So Mata is not here today; she's traveling. So you need to tolerate me. So please give me your blessings and prayers so that we discuss some Ram Katha and we can glorify Lord Rama. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साधवैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन से गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि श्री गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरु दीनतारिणम्। Hare Krishna devotees. So I thought I'll share a beautiful passage from Sri Ramcharitmanas. It's a form of Shoratha, if you know Doha and Shoratha. So we'll sing that bhajan. It's basically on how Lord Ramachandra appeared, and uh, this comes in the Balkand. So there are like some authentic uh, books or itihas or Puranas, you can say, where that Lord Ramchandra glories has been mentioned. So one of the like Valmiki Ramayana, which is written by Valmiki ji, which is written in Sanskrit, and there it comes. Tulsidas ji has written Ramcharitmanas, which is written in Awadhi language. So Ayodhya is there where Lord Ramchandra born. So there they speak Awadhi language, and there is one Kamb Ramayana, which is in South India. So that is written by Kamb Rishi. So I'm going to sing one beautiful. Hope you can see my screen. I'm sharing my screen. If you wish, I can share this also with you. So, uh, one second. Then we'll discuss the meaning and then we'll go ahead with some. Yeah, it's 7, 8 stanzas are there, and you can sing along with me if you wish. And yeah, so it's basically like comes in Balkand again. I'll repeating. So it about the when Lord Rama burns. So that time this song is being sung. Yeah. भय कृपट भय प्रकट कृपाला दीन दयाला कौशल्या हितकारी, हर्षित महातारी, मुनि मनहारी, अद्भुत रूप विचारी, लोचन अभिरामा, तनु घन श्यामा, निज आयुध भुज चारी, भूषण वन माला, नयन विशाला, शोभा सुंदर करारी, कह दुई कर जोरी, अस्तुत तोरी, कहीं विधि करहूं अनंता, माया गुण ज्ञानातीत अमाना, वेद पुराण भनंता, करुणा सुख सागर, सब गुण आगर, जहि गावहि श्रुति संता, सो मम हित लागी, जन अनुरागी, भयहु प्रकट श्रीकांता, ब्रह्मांड निकाया, निर्मित माया, रोम रोम प्रतिवेद कहें, मम उर सोबासी, यह उपहासी, सुनत धीर मति थिर न रहे, उपजा जब ज्ञाना, प्रभु मुस्काना, चरित बहुत विध कीन चाहे, कहीं कथा सुनाई, मातु बुझाई, जही प्रकार सुत प्रेम लहे, माता पुनि बोली, सोमति डोली, तजहु तात यह रूपा, की जय सुसलीला, अति प्रियशीला, यह सुख परम अनूपा, सुनि बचन सुजाना, रोधन ठाना, कोई बालक भुर पूपा, यह चरित जगावहि, हरिपद पावहि, तेन परहि भवकूपा, यह चरति जगावहि, हरिपद पावहि, तेन परहि भवकूपा, विप्रधेनु सुरसंतहित, लीन मनुज अवतार, निज इच्छा निर्मित तनु, माया गुण गोपाल, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय. So basically this bhajan is being sung in most of the temple, even in ISKCON temple, in all the places whenever like Lord Ram appearance. So this is dedicated to Lord Ram. Maybe I'll read couple of verses translation. It's so beautiful. Like, when you read Damodar Ashtakam, right? It tells about the different activities of Damodarji, his bodily expression, his gesture, and how he's walking, how he's scrolling. So similarly, when Lord Rama born, so these beautiful Tulsidasi glorify. So the compassionate one, the merciful to the downtrodden, has appeared for the good of Kaushalya. The mother Kausalya is the joyous, the mind of the sages are captivated, beholding the wardrobe's form. His eyes are enriching, his body is color of dark cloud, and he carries his own weapon in his forearm, adorned with the ornament and garland of the flower, with wild eyes. He is the boundless ocean of beauty, the destroyer of Khara, and Dushana, a demon. Joining her two hands, she says, how can I praise you, the infinite? You are beyond my illusion, beyond Maya or illusion, attribute and the knowledge, and the Vedas and the Puranas and proclaim. You are the ocean of compassion and the bliss, and the source of all virtues, and the scripture and sense sings of you. The same Lord, affectionate to his devotees, has appeared for my benefit. The entire universe is made of your Maya, and the Vedas says it resides in each of your pores. That same Lord resides in my heart. This is like a joke. Hearing it evens the minds of the wise becomes unsteady. When Lord appears as a son, it's very difficult to understand. I mean, say like, say, uh, जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम एवं वेति तत्वता त्यक्त्वा देहम पुनर्जन्म नेति मामेति अर्जुन. It's very difficult to understand. Lord comes in human form and has become a son. So it's these leelas you cannot, a normal mind cannot understand. So when next says, when knowledge arose, the Lord smiled and desired the perform many kinds of divine plays. Telling a lovely story, he makes his mother understand in a way that she can feel a mother love for him. So similarly, when Lord Krishna appeared, he didn't express that he is the supreme personality of Godhead, and mother also could able to enjoy the pastime. Similarly, Lord also what he's telling a lovely story, he makes his mother understand in a way that she can feel a mother love for him, not like supreme personality of Godhead or Lord Rama, he is the supreme Lord. The mother spoke again, her mind wavering. Give up this form, dear son, perform a play of child, very lovingly and gentle. This bliss is supremely unparalleled. Hearing this, the wise one begins to cry, becoming a child, though he is the king of the god. Those who sings this story attain the feet of Hari Vishnu, and they do not fall into the well of worldly existence. So that's those who have recited this beautiful poem, or you can say a bhajan, they are going to get the feet of Hari Vishnu. That's what the falasruti of reading this uh, Lord Rama appearance. For the last sloka, for the sake of Brahmins, cows, gods, and saints, he took the human incarnation. The body is formed with his own will, and he is beyond Maya and attributes. So that's the Hare Krishna. So I'll just stop sharing. Yeah, so that was one of the beautiful bhajan. And today is also the appearance of Ramanujacharya. So I thought we'll discuss some of the pastime of Lord Ramanujacharya, or like, sorry, Ramanujacharya, who comes from Sri Sampradayas, and then we go ahead with discuss some of the pastime of Lord Ramchandra. So as we know, like we have four Sampradaya, which are like authentic Sampradaya, like Kumar Sampradaya, Brahma Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya, and Rudra Sampradaya. Yes. So these are four Sampradaya, and it has also been mentioned like Sampradaya Vihina Mantra Bifalam. If someone is, not taking shelter in one of the bona fide Sampradaya, the mantra, whatever is chanting, sometimes doesn't give the power. So it's like it's mentioned like Sampradaya Vihina Mantra Bifalam. So we should approach the bona fide spiritual master, uh, surrender unto him and do some service, then only we can attain the spiritual realization. Yeah. So as you know, like Srila Prabhupada has opted many things from Sri Sampradaya, like one of the deity worship which we practice in our ISKCON is like in a very high standard. So that is taken from Sri Sampradaya, and apart from like Vaishnav Seva. So Vaishnav Seva has been glorified in all the scriptures, and one of the topmost things, which is very high in Sri Sampradaya. So as you know, like many story of Sri Sampradaya. So I'll cover a couple of his stories of his beautiful disciples. Those have the dedicated their life, or the way they have served to the Ramanujacharya is really very glorious. So in quick glimpse, like Ramanujacharya born in the Chaitra Master Sukla Panchami, which is today, and he born in Sri Perambur. It comes in like Chennai, southern part of India, and Tamil Nadu. And yeah, it's like there are so many beautiful temples. Like I was in Chennai, then Varadaraj, I used to go over there, and so many beautiful, like Divyadeshams are there, like 108. So not like in Sri Sampradaya they say 108 Divyadeshams are there, but some like some are in Tamil Nadu, some are in Nepal, some they say in spiritual world. So altogether 108 Divyadesham, and the back behind this Ramanujacharya, one of the prominent acharya in the Sri Sampradaya. So in the early stage of Ramanujacharya, he was, I'll tell one story on that. So Yadav Prakash. So you say fortunately or unfortunately, they were staying in Kanchipuram with the Ramanujacharya was staying with his parents. And there was a Mayavadi sannyasi, which name was Yadav Prakash. And he what happens like one time there was a king and his daughter was haunted by a ghost. And uh, and then kings inquire about the those who are like very good priests and those who helped come out from this ghost haunt. So he came tonight, like the Yadav Prakash is, he's a learned person. So he invites them to help to come out from the for her daughter. And when ghost sees him, he said, you cannot do anything because you cannot cure me and you cannot cure this girl. And you bring your one of the disciple, or not disciple, one of the student in your ashram, Ramanujacharya, and he can only cure me. And why I selected the Ramanujacharya, like today, like we are discussing Lord Ram Katha, and Ramanuja is like, earlier Ramanujacharya name was Lakshman himself. And then Rama Anuj, so who is the younger brother of Lord Rama is a, so Ramanujacharya is little incarnation of, Lakshmana. He came as a Lakshmana, to serve. So when that king Ghosh told, then he was inquiring, how can I, I cannot cure you. So then he was telling, you were Brahmana in one of the life, in previous life, and then you offended a Vaishnava, and that time you offended and you became a what was it? Lizard, chipkali, Hindi we say chipkali, and you became a lizard because you were envious and you offended to a Brahmana. And it's some devotee were honoring prasadam, and that lizard was there in one of the house, and somehow they threw that some prasadam towards lizard, and lizard came and had, and then again he got the birth of Brahmana. So that's happens with Yadav Prakash, and he got shocked, how this Brahma Rakshas knows about my previous life, all the three previous lives. Then he gets very surprised. And then Ramanujacharya is being called, and then Brahma Rakshas says, like, uh, you wash your feet with the water, and I will drink this water, and that's how I will get liberated. And similar things happens. The kings washes the feet of Ramanujacharya, and then the Brahma Rakshas, put in head and drink that, immediately he get liberated. So that was the glory of, Ramanujacharya. And Yadav Prakash becomes very envious due to this, because he was being insulted in front of the public, and there was some instances happened when Ramanujacharya quoted against Yadav Prakash. Some of the, some pastime comes where he was trying to compare the face of Lord with, back of the, monkey. So that time, Ramanujar becomes very angry and he corrects how it is a very bad comparison which you are doing. And due to that, he becomes very envious of Ramanujacharya, and he tried to kill him. So I just cut in short. So that time, he takes him to one of the jungles and, uh, put him away. But somehow, due to one of his cousin brother, Ramanuja came no, and that time, Parvati and Lord Shiva himself helps Ramanujacharya to come out from that forest, and that's how he gets saved. So he become very very jealous of, Ramanujacharya. So that's one of the beautiful story. And I'll cover some of the beautiful pastime of, Ramanujacharya had so many sannyasi disciples, so many Grihastha disciples, sannyasi disciples, and brahmacharis. One of the very known disciple, there are like, you might be knowing like Dashrathi, Kuresh, and also I'll cover a couple of story from that. So there was a one disciple named Dasharathi, you know, and what happened? He was a sannyasi disciple of, and he comes to Ramanujacharya and he asks, I was reading Bhagavad Gita, and there is very prominent sloka in Bhagavad Gita which like Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Saranam Braja Aham Tam Sarvapebhyo Mokshayasami Masucha. And I was trying to understand this sloka. and I couldn't able to understand. Can you please help me to understand the meaning of this sloka, because this is one of the topmost sloka in Bhagavad Gita. Then Ramanujacharya understood some of the ego, or he was a little proud of his knowledge, and he was showing off, I mean, say Ramanujacharya that time. So Ramanujacharya told, okay, I will tell you, first do some service, and and then continuously 3 months he do the service of in the matha of Ramanujacharya. And then after 3 months he says, like, you told me that you are going to tell the meaning of this sloka, what happened? Then he says, oh, okay, okay, I may not able to tell, I may not qualified, can you go to the Goshti Purn? So Goshti Purn, and he will able to tell you the meaning of this sloka. And then when Dasrathi goes to the Goshti Purn, Goshti becomes very surprised. How come you came to my matha without my knowledge, or I didn't invited you? And he asked, I came to understand the meaning of. He said, okay, no, no problem. But you like, no problem is like, how can you come to my matha without my invitation? Then you do service, and then I'll let you know. And then next 6 months he does all the service in the matha, all the menial services. Being a sannyasi, you know, he does all the services over there. And then after again, he asks, at least can you, it's a 9 month, 3 month I was in Ravana. You can see the tolerance and service attitude. If it could have happened nowadays, I mean, it's like people say, "भाड़ में जाए guru, I can do the Google and chat GPT, I will ask, what's the problem in this, understanding this sloka." But can you see the patience of, Dashrathi? He spent 9 months, and again when he asked after 6 months to um, again, like 3 months he asked from Ramanujacharya, did service there, and then again 6 months he was there near to Goshti Pune, and he asked. And after 6 months, he asked Goshti Pune, can you tell me? He said, oh, I think the best person would be the Ramanujacharya only to tell the story. But like, अरे भाई इतना ही घुमाना था, he could have told it before. Then he again goes back to the Ramanujacharya and ask, sir, like Goshtipur told me to come back to again to you and ask this. He said, okay, okay, okay. And then what happens? Same time, there is a one like character comes Kanchipurna. So you might be knowing, like, he was like very big priest in the a big priest and the devotee of Bharadrajri. Bharadraj. He used to talk to Bharadraj, and he used to have a special pastime with Bharadraj. And yeah, so that's how initially when Ramanujan. So what happened at the same time when Dashrathi was asking this again to Ramanujacharya, that time Kanchipur daughter, her name was Atulya. Atulya was married recently, and she came to Ramanujacharya to tell that, I got to married in one of the village, and there I have to go to, 6 kilometers something to get the water. And when I'm I'm not able to manage this, when I tell to my my what you say, the sasural side, to tell them ki, I cannot do this. Since it, oh, if you cannot do, then you go and go back to your mother's side and get someone, but we cannot help you, you have to do this because no one is there at house to do this. And then she was sharing this, in mother side I came, to whom I don't know, to whom I can take them. Then Ramanujacharya points towards, Dasrathi, and he said, why can't you go with Atulya and help her to bringing the water? And he agreed, Dasrathi. Can you imagine the patience, the surrender, the humble attitude, the service attitude, and the true disciple? No new. He didn't say, like, I came to ask one translation of this sloka, and you are sending left, right, left, right, left, right. He didn't ask. He said yes. He went, and he, couple of years he was continuously bringing the water. Being a sannyasi, he was bringing the water from the some pond, bringing it back, doing all the menial service, chopping, cleaning of the vessels, mopping the floors, and everything he was doing for many years over there. And suddenly, what happened? One day, there was a one Mayavadi, Mayavadi person came, and he was glorifying. Lord in a different way, very different way, which agitated the mind of Dasrathi, and he couldn't able to tolerate. And then he challenged that this is not the correct way you are glorifying the Lord. So this discussion was happening in that village, and he was coming after taking the water to put his in his house, and he was just hearing this discussion, and he got very angry. And the that Mayavadi asked him, "Who is this guy?" He said, "He is some helper in our house." He said, "Oh, how can he speak like that? Just take him away. How can he speak?" But when Dasrathi again counters back, then he realized, oh no, he's not a normal person. And then after something inquired, they came, oh, this is a Dasrath is a great sannyasi. And everyone becomes so ashamed that how can we are taking service from him from so many years, and they honor him like a king, and they wash his feet, and with a big group, and with that whole and with a big musical instrument, they all take him in the palki to Dasarathi to the Ramanujacharya, and they glorify Dasarathi like anything. He was, doing so much service to whole village and all of the whole family. And we are very grateful, but we are very ashamed how a sannyasi we are taking the service from sannyasi. And then Ramanujacharya becomes very happy. And then he tell him the real meaning of surrender and sarvadharman parityajya. And Ramanujacharya becomes so happy by his service attitude. And so that's how, see, how Ramanujacharya found the fault. And like fault means, like, he has little ego and proud of his knowledge. And how with the surrender, first, he has, given him different, but later, he has glorified the disciple. So similarly incident comes in his life as well. So what happens, like, one time some devotees, disciples of Ramanujacharya, trying to preach in nearby places, and there it was happening, like, demigod worship was becoming very prominent in that area. And it was very becoming difficult for them to preach. So they were telling to Ramanujacharya how we can overcome. And then Ramanujacharya, oh, take Dasarathi with yourself, and they said, wash his feet in one of the pond, and everything will be there. And Dasarathi was feeling very, and then all the disciples took him. They dip his feet in that pond and brought him back. And after some time, you won't believe, the whole village became Vaishnava. By the power of the disciple of Ramanujacharya. They drank the water, their chitta became changed, and they all became the Vaishnava. So that's the power of pure devotees. Uh, what do you say? In Sanskrit, we say, right? Uchishta, Uchishta, or you can say like that. That's the power of that. So that's one of the story of very prominent disciple of Ramanujacharya, Dashrathi. Second story I'll tell about Quresh. You might be heard this story, like Quresh was one of the very obedient disciple of Ramanujacharya. So what happened one time? Ramanujacharya glories was going ahead all over the places, and the Quresh was his disciple, and there was a nearby king, Chola Raj, the Chola Samrajya, and there was a king Krinikshtka, and his king was he was like worshipper of some other demigod, and he was becoming very envious that Ramanujacharya glories are going all over the world, and he was spreading the Vaishnavism, you know because that time what was happening, you like you cannot become Brahmana Pandit, any caste were not allowed, and some prominent caste only can become. But Vaishnava philosophy was totally different. I mean, say anyone can become Vaishnava. I mean, say, like, because the Vaishnava have qualities not with the born or the birth which you got a prominent family or something like that. So he was very become envious of that, and he was trying to pull Ramanujacharya and try to kill him or something like that. And the same they then he sent his soldiers to arrest Ramanujacharya, and somehow or other it came into the notice of Quresh, and Quresh poses him uh, as a Ramanujacharya when these soldiers came to arrest him, and he poses as a Ramanujacharya, and he said, "I am Ramanujacharya," and then he goes back to the palace, and king has organized a debate, and the debate happens, and kings lost the debate, and he becomes so angry, and due to that he becomes so cruel that he tells all the soldiers to take out both the eyes of Quraysh. Can you imagine? And they take out the eyes of the Quraysh, and they left him in the jungle or forest somewhere, and somehow or other, with the help of some villagers or some of the people, he comes back to the Kanchipuram, not Kanchipuram, yeah, where the Varadara is there, and he comes back, and Ramanujacharya becomes so, like, he becomes so sad by seeing that, how they have taken out the eyes of Quresh. So you can see that that's a dedication, how he has dedicated his life itself for the serving of the his spiritual master. And later, what happens, like, Varadaraj is there, and they gives it is a long story. He was not willing to take the eyes, but some devotee inspires him, and then they go to Varadaraji, and Varadaraj gives back, both the eyes to Quresh. So that's the that's one of the story was there. So this was the second disciple, and mm, so there is I'll tell one story about two disciples, though both were Grihastha disciples. So one's name was Yogesh, and one is Varadharaj. So the Yagesh is was a, so how used to happen earlier. I mean, there was no phone and no communication was there. So Ramanujacharya with some of the disciples, they used to travel, and they used to preach around, and that's how they will make the disciples, and then sometime they travel back again to the same area. So in one of the villages, there were two disciples of Ramanujacharya. One was Yagesh, and another was Vardhacharya. You know, so Yagesh was very, he has lot of wealth, and he was like, big person in that community, and simultaneously Vardhacharya, he was a Grahastha person. His wife name was Lakshmi, but they were like not they're very poor. I mean, so like whatever Vardhacharya used to get daily earning, they used to have, and something that's how they were spending the life. So when Ramanujacharya sent some of these disciples to the house of Yagesh, that go and tell that, your Guru Maharaj is coming today, and so when they goes to his house, he becomes so happy, so jubilant, and he goes in ecstasy, and he says, "No, please, please bring to spiritual master. I'm going to serve him like anything." And that's how they comes back disciples. And when Ramanujacharya asked to disciples how the Yagesh responded back about my arrival, they says, yeah, he was very happy. But Ramanujacharya asked, how did he treated you? He said, no, he didn't give in us a place also sit. He didn't offer anything. And, he just, send it back to us like that. So Ramanujacharya became, he said, no, no, we'll not go his house. We'll go to another house. We'll go to Vardhacharya house. And when they all goes to Vardhacharya house, because, Vardhacharya was like, very poor Brahmana, and he was staying in a kutia, a hut. It was like a hut, a small hut was there. And when and that time Vardhacharya was not there, but her wife Lakshmi was there, and Lakshmi becomes so happy after seeing Ramanujacharya and all his disciples, and she said, "Please, please have a seat, and I'll prepare a beautiful like, preparation for all of you. Please have prasad and then go." But there was nothing in his house. Nothing was there in his house to prepare. And then it comes in her mind, there was a one shopkeeper, and uh, that shopkeeper had very bad eyes on Lakshmi. So she was like, Sativrata, lady, but that shopkeeper had very bad eye on him. And so what she does, she goes to that shopkeeper house, and she says, like, um, I am happy to fulfill all your you want to enjoy with me, and I want to fulfill all your desire, but give me one day only. And my spiritual master has come. If you give me grains, vegetables, and all the ingredients, I'm gonna serve him, and after that I'll come back you and fulfill all the desire whatever you have. and that guy becomes super happy. He was, had bad eye from so many years to Lakshmi, and he said, "Oh, that day is going to come. I'm going to enjoy her." And he gives all the items, variety, vegetables, ingredients to him, and then once Lakshmi comes back his house and he prepares so many varieties of prasadam, and she offers the bhoga to Lord, and then starts serving to the spiritual master and all the disciple. And meanwhile, Vardhacharya also comes, and he becomes so happy that Lakshmi, how come you prepared so many variety for my Guru Maharaj? He becomes so happy, and he was started asking, how did you manage to bring all these items, ingredients, and then she's not able to tolerate, and she breaks down there, and she said, these things happens, and I have committed my body to give to this person, and this, and Vardhachar becomes so happy. She said that's the best example, of if a disciple to serve his spiritual master, that he has given her body itself, and says, I am very fortunate that I have received you as my wife in this lifetime. And she said, you are the topmost chastity you have shown to myself. He becomes so proud, and somehow or other, uh, what happens, this discussion comes across the disciple of Ramanujacharya, and then Ramanujacharya invites that what happened, and then Lakshmi and Vardha Acharya explain the whole story, and then Ramanujacharya says, don't worry about that, just give. Ramanujacharya gives some Mahaprasad, and he says to Lakshmi, take this Mahaprasad and give to that guy, and the soft honor. And then Lakshmi goes with this Mahaprasad, and soft honor becomes so happy that the final day has come. I'm going to enjoy her. I'm waiting for so many years. The day has come. And then when Lakshmi goes to him, he said, like, yes, I'm going to fulfill your desire, but please have this. I want to feed you something, before. And the moment he eat the uchista of, given by Ramanujacharya, his heart becomes completely changed, and his whole thought process changed. And he was thinking, ashamed. You are like my mother. You know, how can I think like this? Please forgive me. You know, I don't know from where this thought came, and where this I was becoming, what do you say, lusty, too much lusty, and you are such a like mother, you know, and I was keeping on bad eyes of a married woman. Please, alas, he begs down the lotus feet of Lakshmi, and Lakshmi brings him near to Ramanujacharya, and he bows down to Ramanujacharya that thank you for saving my life, and his heart, completely transformed. Just see the power of, we discussed one of the water pastime, how the water transform the, and here if you see the Uchista, so Bhakta, there is a beautiful comes in Chaitan Charitamrita, Bhakti Dhuli, Bhakti Chal, something like that. It is Bhakta Dhuli, Bhakta Jal, I'm forgetting. So apologize for that. So like Bhakta Dhuli, if you take, and Bhakta Jal, if you will take, your life becomes successful. So just by having that Mahaprasad, Uchista from Ramanujacharya, his life get transformed. Getting the remnants from the pure devotee. It can transform the life. Love matra sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi ho. He came in the contact through the bad intention, but his life has transformed. So then he becomes the disciple of Ramanujacharya. He accepts the initiation from Ramanujacharya, and he becomes the disciple. Such a glorious, so pastimes of Ramanujacharya. Oh, sorry, I think I went ahead. Yeah, maybe I had some more stories to share, but yeah. Um, yeah, so Jai Shri Ramanujacharya ki, Jai Shri Lakshman ji ki, Jai Ho. So these are the glorious pastime of Ramanujacharya. Uh, okay, so I thought I had something more to share, but I think time is less. Okay, we'll start little whatever we can cover on the Lord Rama pastime. Hari Bol. Yes, thank you so much, Pruji. You're always glorious, Bhakta Pada Dhuli, Bhakta Pada Jal, Bhakta Bhukti Abhishesha. Yeah, bro. Thank you so much, bro. Yeah, Bhakti, that Bhakti Pada Dhuli, Bhakti Pada Jal, Bhakti Bhukti Abhishesha. Thank you, Achut Priyesh, bro, for sharing this sloka. Yeah, now I'll just share my screen. I don't know how much we can discuss, 10 minutes, and then maybe we'll see. So, uh, let's discuss something about Lord Rama. It's like, I think 26 is uh, is a Ram Navami, and where Lord Ram appeared, and which we sang. So I'll recite this beautiful Rama mantra, which is Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaye Pataye Namaha. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaaya Nathaya Sitaye Pataye Namaha. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaaya Nathaya Sitaye Pataye Namaha. I bow down to Lord Rama, the virtuous, the embodiment of the bliss, and the illuminator of the Raghu dynasty, the supreme Lord and the husband of Mother Sita. That's Lord Sri Ram. I just wrote this is sloka also, which let's say like Eka is Sloki Ramayana. Uh, just within one sloka, you can cover the entire Ramayana. It's like Adau Ram Tapovanadhigamnam Hatva Mrigankanchanam Vediharanam Jatayu Maranam Sugrivam Sambhashanam Vali Nigrahanam Samudra Lankapuri Dahanam Paschad Ramana Kumbhakaran Hananam Etati Ramayanam. It is Ekashloki Ramayanam Sampurnam. So it says like Adau Ram Tapobanadikam. This far from like Lord Rama went to the exile for 14 years. Hatva Mrigang Kanchanam. Hatva means the killing of the golden deer. You know. Vadehi Haranam. The kidnapping of Mother Sita. Jatayu Maranam. Killing of the Jatayu. Sugrivam Sambhashanam, the meeting of the Sugriva. Vali Nigrahanam, you know, the meeting of the killing of the Vali, the brother of Sugriva. Samudra Taranam. Samudra Taranam is like, the crossing of the ocean. Lanka Puri Dahanam, uh, the, burning of the Lanka. Paschad Ravan Kumbhakaran Hananam, and killing of the Kumbhakarna, and killing of the Ravan and Kumbhakarna, iti Ramayana. So that's like entire Ramayana. So why Lord Ram appears in the Bhuloka? What's the reason? We say yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthana madharmasya tadatmanam srijamyam paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha duskritam dharma sansthapanataya Sambhamani Yoge Yoge. So, like as we know, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appear. There are some internal reasons, and there are some external reasons to appear the Lord in this world. So, external reason is known to the external people, but there is like hidden reasons as well. So, we'll try to discuss these, whatever we can discuss. See. So, first is like request and prayers of demigods. So, this first prayer comes from the demigods, like when Lord. To bring the Lord into the Bhuloka was like Ravana, he has made the chaos in the entire creation. I mean, so like uh, so what happens? Like all demigods went to Brahmaji that what kind of boon you have given to this guy? He is not leaving us apart. All Navagraha, they were serving as a maid servant and cooking for Ravana, Rahu, Ketu, Sunny. You say Sunny ki agar nazar pad gayi, then your that some months, some years has gone. But he
He
was,
was,
holding
hold.
Sunny in his house like anything. Yeah. So one of the they all offered the prayers, uh, to. So what happens like when Ravana asked the boon from Brahmaji, he asked that it's kind of he wants to become immortal, but he out of pride and ego, he asked that I cannot kill by anyone, na shastra, na this, na that. But he out of proud, he's saying like, Vanara and Manushya, two humans and monkeys, like animals. He forgets that out of pride that, how can animals can kill me, or any monkey can kill me, or how can a human being can kill me, that's impossible. Then out of pride, he don't ask that boon to Brahmaji, and that he escapes. So that's how, these all, then Brahmaji says, you all go, you know. So each one, uh, demigod sends, like, Vayudev sends to Hanumanji, and then uh, like, Angad, and they all becomes like Vanar Sena, Jamavant, they all become Vanar Sena, and they comes into the Bhuloka and to assist Lord Rama. And Lord Rama also, tells them, you want, like, it's Eyathamam Prapadyante. You need something, then you also have to do something, isn't it? It's not like one side. You are taking my help, so you also have to come and assist me in my pastime. And I request that you all come in the form of monkey. So if you see, like, monkey is not something very very elegant species, I mean, so to come along. You don't see any person is coming along with monkeys or something like that. So, but Lord Rama, he don't care for himself. He take care for the devotees as a priority. So he was not being ashamed any with taking help from monkeys. So you can see, like, that's one of the quality of Lord Rama. And the second is like protect rishis. So when the that time rishis were doing some tapasya, yajna, and havana, and these rakshasas were not allowing them to do the spiritual practices, and they were like this uh, Karan Dushan later comes in the past time, like how he's being killed by Lord Rama. So they used to bring the blood, ashes, and uh, skeleton, and whenever they do any yajna, they all throw, and they disturb the yajna. So that's how they were very, very, very uh, uh, unhappy, or they got too much disturbed by these rakshasas and all demons. So they were requesting Lord to come and protect them, and help them, like that. So there are like few reasons I have written, like, there are many reasons. Last is like give pleasure to Mother Sita. So this is a very beautiful pastime comes, and one of so what happens, like, one time, Lord Vishnu was sitting in the Kshir Sagar, Lord Vishnu is in the Kshir Sagar, like, and Mother Lakshmi was massaging his lotus feet. And what happens, like, um, Lord Vishnu asks, oh, what happens? Like, you seems little unhappy today. What happens? You always look so joyful, but today your mood is not that much happy. It doesn't look. It seems looks little sad. So Lakshmi Devi says, "Oh, that's fine. No, no, no. I'm good. All right. Nothing, nothing. That's the husband-wife relationship. How the things go. So then Vishnu said, no, 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 something is not good today. You seems a little, and please tell me, I'm her husband. You should share something with me as well, isn't it? Something is. Then when insist two, three time, Vishnu, then Mother Lakshmi opens up, and then she says like, uh, and I also, Vishnu adds like, people are, rishis, munis, and so many people are doing tapasya to get at your place, the, like, massaging the supreme personality of Godhead, Vishnu himself. It's not a ordinary service you are getting, so many people are waiting, and even after getting this service, you are not happy. Something is not good. She said, I am happy, but I need some privacy. And Vishnu says like, what kind of privacy, this in whole Chir Sagar, in the ocean of, in whole ocean, I can't see anyone here. It's just you and myself, and there is no competition at all. Sometimes you go in temple, there are so much devotee are doing service. You want to do service, but there is no place, to do service, and festivals are there, and so there was a lot of competition to do any service, But here there is no one to do competition, and no one is judging you. You are doing the service, and that is topmost service, and And what kind of privacy you need? There is no one here. Please tell me. Then uh, she open her. I'm like not opening. She is pointed out her eyes toward the Sesnag. I'm like, the Lakshmanaji, Sesnag. She said, this guy is having thousands of foot and so many thousands of eyes because each snake have two eyes, right? So multiple thousands of eyes. And this guy is constantly watching me. And it feels like, it's constantly seeing me that I am doing my service properly or not. So I am becoming very not like it doesn't look any privacy here. It's like everything is open. Then Lord Vishnu becomes he becomes so happy. I'm like his moods gets changed. Oh, this is the reason. Yeah, yeah. Then he says, okay, okay, we'll go in the Bhuloka, and there we'll have a special time, and then we will have a honeymoon time. So if you see that when Lord Rama goes for 14 years for exile, so out of 14 years, he goes like a place called Chitrakoot, for 13 years, something like that, 13 years, remaining 1 year, he spent everything. During 13 years, there's a beautiful forest over there. And then Lord Ramchandra, Mother Sita, they spend their conjugal pastimes. And it's so beautiful. I mean, so like they hardly written any much things about that, but they spend they're like together like conjugal rasa, and they spend time each other. And Lord Rama used to make a lot of garlands for Mother Sita. He used to tie her hairs, and he used to comb the hairs of Mother Sita, and he used to make the garland for the hairs. And they don't used to stay at one place because the big forest. They used to keep on changing different places and enjoy the beauty of that area. So this mantra and other people say like due to mantra this happens. So these are all secondary reasons, but the primary reason that Lord wanted to have a extended honeymoon with Mother Sita, in one sense, if you say, you know, that's why the one of the promise and has been given uh, to Mother Sita. So I'll come into that story. Maybe like we'll see next week if something we can cover. Uh, and that other pastime. Okay, I'll tell a quick story here. Um, how the Ramayana came. We have like 6 minutes. I'll just cover how the Ramayana came and why Valmiki was being selected for the Ramayana. So I'll just make it big. So what happened one time? Narad Muni came in the uh, in the in the hut of Valmiki, and Narad Muni is spiritual master of Valmiki. All this story like how Valmiki was a hunter before, and Narad Muni were coming across, and then he asked, why you are killing so many animals? You will get a lot of pap for this, sinful reaction of that. Why you then, Ratnakar, his name was Ratnakar before, and then he says, no, no, this I am doing a duty for my household. If I don't do, I don't have anything to feed my family. Then he asked, like, you are doing that's good, what that's not good, I mean say, but do you think your family members are going to share the reaction? He said, absolutely, they are my family members. And then he says, are you sure? And then he said, yes, yes, 100%. So then Narada Muni asked, can you go and check with them? I said, you are making a escape, you are telling me to go back and you will escape and run away from this place. I won't allow you to do this. They said, okay, if you have this issue, at least tie me here and with a tree, and then you check and come back. And when he goes back to his house, he says, oh my son, how are you? I'm doing so much hard work for your studies, for your exam. I am earning so much for your sending a school, bringing this cloth, nice clothes. Do you think uh, you are going to share this whatever I am doing for your happiness or for your support? He said, no way, you are my father. You have given birth to me. It's your duty to fulfill my needs. And whatever we do, that doesn't matter to me. So I'm not going to share. And he get a big shock. My son, to whom I was loving, he's just, saying back, at least, हमारे हिंदी बोले, uh, as if- and okay. And then when he goes to wife, oh, my dear wife, you know, I am bringing a lot of jewelries for you, beautiful food items, so many things for you. And you know how I am earning this? I am killing to the animals, and that's how I'm getting these things. I'm looting to the people. Hope you can share the reaction of this. She says, no way at all, you know because you have married to me and you have given the promise while taking satfera 7 rounds around the yajna, that you are going to fulfill all my needs and take care of me. How I am going to share the reaction? Not at all. And I was thinking, like in Bollywood some songs है ना, पल भर के लिए कोई मुझे प्यार कर ले झूठा भी सही, he was thinking at least they should not say too much open. I mean, they can say, yeah, okay, we'll share, we'll try to share. But they were like, straightforward, not at all. No jhuta, no such, straightforward, And he get, and then he goes, her mother also, he get the similar reaction. And he goes, my God, they are not like, what I was expecting. They are not at least telling lies just to, console me that I'll do. And he goes directly and, bow down to Narad Muni in his lotus feet, please, please save me, what I am doing from so many years, please, please, you have shown me the right path, right time and right path. Please accept me as your disciple, and guide me. What can I do? Like the way Arjuna, he was trying to to put argument in front of Krishna, and then he say like, no, then he goes, this sloka comes in third chapter or fourth chapter, isn't it? So then he surrenders himself. A soul surrenders to unto you. Please guide me or instruct me. So similarly, Valmiki go Ratnakar. His name was Ratnakar, and then he says, "Okay, there is one way you can chant the holy name of the Lord. That's the only way you can purify by all these reaction." And then he suggests him to chant the name of Lord Ram, and he was so much sinful that he was not able to utter the name of Lord Ram. So if you see, sometime we go for a program or something like that, you tell people, "Oh, please chant, we'll chant till," they will not able to. They are so proud that they think, oh, I know everything. This Shastra, what is this name they are telling me to chant? So you can see the pious or piety. And sometimes you go high street and go for book distribution, just ask them any random guy, take a book and he say, chant, he chants, So that's the purity, That's the, purity and sense, the purity, pious deeds, So a Hindu person, I'm like those who are family of the background, they are not ready to chant, but some person who doesn't know anything is chanting. How the things, Lord comes in different life, the way you reciprocate with the Lord and with the holy name. So then he started. Then Narad Muni said, if you cannot able to chant the Lord Ram name, at least you do Mara. So in Hindi, Mara means killing. I say you chant, because he daily used to laugh at the after killing of any animals. They Mara 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 le Mara Mara. Then he said Mara 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 Ram 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 Ram. Then he chants this mantra for so many years, and that's how his he he gets the name as a Valmiki. Valmiki means like who has made the house in all around his body of this ants. So all the ants made the body, and he was chanting for so many. That's how his name is Valmiki. The name is a Valmiki. So that's how he gets name. So maybe I think maybe I'll cover this story and then we'll wind up. Yeah. So what happens? The Narad Muni, and then this I told the before story, but the picture which I am showing is the current story. So where Narad Muni comes and he was asking to Narad Muni that, can you tell me a person who is a supreme hero in entire creation? Then he extend the question in more detailed way, like the person who is compassionate, and who is a very hard as well. Kusma dapikomalam vajrata vikatoram. So when he compassionate, he's compassionate. Compassion is for all the living beings. But when he becomes come to the nyaya, he becomes hard, and he is a supreme hero. He's a wealthy. He's having all the strength. He's having all the opulence, and he goes beyond in details. And then Narad Muni replies back. He closes his eyes for some time, and he goes in the relish of the Lord Ramchandra, his pastime, his activities, his guna qualities, and his appearance, and he is dealing with all the devotees. So he goes in different arms and he start describing the different qualities of Lord Ram for a couple of hours, and then in 90 minutes he complete the entire Bhagavatam, like 90 sloka, sorry, 90 minute, no. In 90, in short, he completes the entire Ramayana to Valmiki ji. So that shows, like, whenever we meet to our spiritual masters, or when we meet to senior Vaishnava, we should always put a question aside. I mean, it's not just, taking association or physically, we should inquire from the teacher or spiritual master. That's a etiquette. So that's how, Valmiki is showing, whenever a spiritual master comes, we should ask the questions, and we should be prepared for the question. It's that which what question I'm going to ask, because asking question help us to grow in our spiritual life. The more you ask the question, that shows that how much I'm churning myself, I'm seeing myself, I'm having the doubts and asking. So that's how the Valmiki shows. So what happens, like, after this, Valmiki, after this discussion, and he explains the entire Ramayana in 90 sloka. uh, Valmiki ji with her disciples, I think Agast Muni, and with some of the disciple, he goes to Tamasa River, eh, near to the Tamsa River, and and on the way he was explaining whatever he heard from his spiritual master. It's like churning of the butter. So when we hear something from a spiritual master or Siksha Guru, we should cherish with other devotees, and that's how you get more benefited. So they're explaining, like, how did I heard my spiritual master? He was explaining, and they all were releasing near to the Tamsha River. And what happens, like, immediately what they sees, like, the two bird, the cronch bird was, maybe I'll show this picture. Yeah. So the cronch bird were playing together, and one hunter is he shoots an arrow and kill one of the, bird, the male bird. And after seeing this scene, Valmiki becomes so sad. Yeah, so not sad. First, he becomes angry. So he becomes so angry on that, and and then a beautiful sloka comes from his mouth. So sometime if we becomes angry, then, abuse comes, gali comes, this. But when he becomes angry, then one beautiful sloka came, and the sloka was in proper stanza with like we have Hare Krishna Mahamantra with 8 words. Similarly, this sloka also comes from his mouth, and he cursed that this hunter in a form of a sloka. Can you imagine? When you are cursing or abusing someone, it comes in the form of poem. How poetic is this? So then he gets surprised. I'm like, after cursing him, you start, meditating, like, what kind of, tolerance I am having, that I am not able to tolerate the provoking situations. I did so many years of tapasya, like, thousands of year tapasya I did, and I got a name as a Valmiki. And when I was doing tapasya, all the ants made a house top of my head and all around with the mud. And now I'm not able to tolerate. This is the guy is a hunter. His daily activity is hunting. But how can this particular these things, this incident has disturb my, consciousness, and, so he was became very upset. So first he became angry, then he became sad. Now third, he became so happy that how such a beautiful sloka came. It was like proper form, proper, like, flow was very nice, and the selection of the word also very nice were there. And after, talking to that hunter on the way, when he was coming back to his hut, he was releasing things. Oh, how come this came, how come this came? And then when he goes to the hut, there they were saying that a big swan is inside, I mean, like, near to the hut. And swan is the carrier of Brahmaji. And then when they say Brahmaji, oh, everyone bows down. And Brahmaji tells to Valmiki, don't worry, whatever things has happened, it's blessing of mine, because we are selecting you to write Ramayana. And due to that only, this beautiful, word has started coming from his mouth. And then Lord Brahmaji gives the blessing to Valmiki. Whatever you are going to write, it's going to be absolutely perfect. There is nothing going to have correction or feedback or something, because I'm giving you the blessings, and whatever you will write is going to be perfect. And whatever you are going to write as well, that in future it will happen. So Lord Rama is going to act whatever the way you are going to do. So then he gets the blessings of Lord. Brahma ji, and that's how Valmiki starts writing the Ramayana. Sorry, I'm 6 minutes late, but yeah, I thought to cover some more things. We'll see if we can cover in future. But yeah, that's how the Ramayana came, and Valmiki wrote the Ramayana. Yeah. So thank you so much, devotees. Please forgive me if I have tell something which is not proper etiquette or which is not aligned to Guru's parampara. But yeah, thank you so much for your time. We'll see you next week. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhu,
Thank you,
Dandavat
brother.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
So nicely shared
Hare
with
Krishna.
aesthetic mood. We didn't feel at all that Yamuneshwar Mataji or Radha Krishna Prabhu is not here in London with us. Thank you, Prabhu. Your
Actually, you should
your
come and share, bro. I'm like,
no, no,
I
no,
couldn't
Prabhu.
find anyone, so I am just here
The
sharing
aesthetic
something.
way you shared this transcendental pastime of Lord Rama surely would have touched many devotees straight away. I mean, heart, no doubt, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Amazing, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much
Dandavat.
for your blessings, bro, and blessings. It's all your blessing. I'm unqualified
The
to
other
share
way
in front
around,
of you.
Prabhu. But thank you
Yeah,
very much,
thank
Prabhu. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
thank you so much. सियावर रामचंद्र की जय.
Jai.
Jai.
जय श्री राम.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Sri Ram.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for joining. See you next week. Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Bol
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Bal, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.